What's up, nerds? We're your hosts. I'm Jake.
And I am Chad.
This week we are sponsored by Ray's Energy Drinks.
We are also sponsored by Crybaby Craig's Hot Sauce.
We will be talking about the season finale, or series finale, of Marvel's Secret Invasion now on Disney+.
We're also going to be talking about Oppenheimer, which we saw together last week. We will also be talking about episode 6 of The Witcher, which is kind of like episode 1, part 2 of The Witcher.
Yeah.
Last season with Henry Cavill. But anyways, let's get into it. This is the All Things Nerd podcast.
Nerd. Welcome back, nerds, to the All Things Nerd podcast, your weekly dive into all things nerd. Jake Jakely, how was your week?
My week's been pretty good, pretty chill. Work, that kind of stuff. We did find out, I forgot to mention this. Well, I mentioned it to you, but we did find out that Nicole might be induced, so the baby Cal might be here a little sooner than we expected. We posted on that. But other than that, I posted I thought it was damn funny. Some people not so much, but seems like a lot of people like it because I'm at like 2.5 million views on this video I posted on TikTok. Go check it out if you're listening.
Yeah.
It's fun.
What's your username on TikTok? Is it the same as your Instagram?
Good question.
It is just Jake Peters 87 on TikTok.
Yep, that's it.
So it's different than your Instagram.
I haven't looked at that in so long.
Yeah, go check it out. Here's how not to find it. You wish it into existence.
How about you? How's your week been?
Same sort of thing. I mean, we're like in that transition period between our fiscal quarters because we're on a slight delay compared to the rest of the financial world and business world. So it was very like up or down. Like some days felt like it just went by so fast because I had nothing to do, and then other days I was like, oh shit, I'm really busy. But
I was just laughing.
Oh, yeah. And then also, I mean, this past Saturday, so yesterday from when we're recording, started a new campaign in D&D. It's a campaign that I am writing, and we are recording it for a new podcast that'll be coming soon. Don't know the exact release date of it because we're going to be on a delay, but it is called Kobolds in the Basement, so keep an eye out for that, and when it actually posts, we'll let you know.
I did want to clear something up real quick before you go and check out my TikTok if you are going to do that, and just for any future listeners who may see the video, I do not condone any LGBTQ plus insults or anything like that. I've shut a few conversations down that started to get carried away with that. The point of the video was to make fun of the girl who was supporting a racist song. If you're gonna go on there and spew any homophobe shit, like, get the fuck out of here. So,
or just hate in general.
Yeah.
Unless you're like, yeah, this song's racist. Fuck that song.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
They can't say don't hate because the whole point of the video is to hate on that song and the girl who thought she was doing something, but it is not a transphobe or homophobe type of thing in any way. And if that's the way you're taking it, just please don't go on there at all.
Don't interact.
And just maybe
stop
don't
listening to us.
I was like, and maybe just don't listen to our podcast.
Yeah, don't do any of that. Well, if our listeners like what we're doing and want to support us, they can head over to buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd. It's a great way to support the podcast on a monthly basis. Plus, you get all kinds of behind the scenes, some member exclusive merch, and it will be tied to the new podcast as well. So it's a one-stop place. So if you support one or both, of the podcast, you get behind the scenes and stuff like that for everything. Yeah, again, that's buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd. So, Jake, you watched, I haven't watched it yet, but the latest episode of Warrior, which we've kind of, we haven't been going in depth with, but we've been talking about it because the show's fucking awesome.
Yeah. We've been a little over, like, there was, like, a couple months ago, there wasn't a lot going on in the nerd world, and we were, like, struggling to come up with content.
Yeah.
And now we're, like, getting swamped, like, overwhelmed with nerd content, and it's, like, hard to, like, touch on everything. So, you know, we'll only spend, like, a minute or two here, which we really can't because you haven't watched it, and I want to ruin it for you. The show is amazing. This episode is a little bit of a slower episode, but it's an important slow episode. Yeah, we find some stuff out that I can't mention because you haven't watched it, but go watch it if you're not watching it. It is really fucking good. For those of you who don't know, briefly, it is a show that Bruce Lee had produced back in the day. He was supposed to star in it. Obviously, that didn't happen. It has been revived with a new actor, but in Bruce Lee's, you know, form of production and writing. So,
yeah,
it's really fun.
Wasn't it supposed to be a movie or a series of movies originally?
I don't know. Yeah, that would make more sense because, like, TV series and like streaming services and stuff back then weren't what they are now. So I would imagine it would have been a
weren't
movie
even
series. Yeah.
streaming series.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
yeah.
that was non-existent, and Bruce Lee was very much a movie star back then. So I imagine it was probably a movie series that got turned into.
What is very cool about it though is you can definitely see like the inspiration of Assam, who was originally written as Bruce Lee's character.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the way he presents himself, and then there's what
a weight to carry as an actor.
I
like,
know.
Hey, this was supposed to be Bruce Lee, so you know, fucking do it right, you know. And he's killing it. I love this fucking show.
Yeah, the guy from the Long Z, kind of like his long-term nemesis, who is played by Joe Taslim, who plays Lee Yong. You can definitely see young Jet Li inspiration.
Is that who it was supposed to be?
I don't think that their career paths really crossed, but the way that character now presents looks a lot to me as like a young Jet Li. It's just cool because, you know, in the world of martial arts and film, where those combine, those are some huge fucking names. Yeah. I love this show. I'm excited to watch this new episode. I'm going to watch that once we're done here. I just didn't get around to it this past week. There hasn't been a whole lot of news about the SAG and Writers Guild strike.
There's a little bit.
I mean, they're definitely holding out. More and more people are joining the picket lines. I mean,
yeah, but oh my God. Like, the people that I don't want to say any names or anything, but the people that they're striking against have unapologetically been like, no, we're not caving.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like the studios and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the studios have openly said that they're going to hold out until, you know, financially it starts to destroy the writers and actors that are struggling, and they're like, the writers and actors both have been like, we've been struggling. This is nothing new to us. Like,
be tough living in a mansion and having all those cars and just no money. Oof.
Yeah,
must be hard.
But even I saw from the picket line, it was in kind of like not an interview, but someone, you know, marching the picket line with Jack Black, even, and being like, you know, you're a successful, you know, actor, movie star, and things like that, and they're like, do how do you feel about, other actors and stuff like that having to have second jobs? Do you know many that, take minimum wage jobs just to get by and stuff like that? He's like, I'm a movie star, and everyone I know, including myself, have second jobs outside of the industry. He's like,
Hmm.
I'm a musician. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes I get good things with movies that pay really well. He's like, but that's not sustainable with this current program. He's
Hmm.
like, this is why I still pursue music on the side, because at least he's an independent artist in that
Hmm.
sense. And it's just interesting to see that, even big names like that are like, they're taking multiple sources of income because of how poorly majority of actors and stuff like that are getting
Did
paid.
you see the Zach Braff and Donald Faison one?
I saw that they were out, but I like picketing
Don
together, but I didn't.
Basically, Donald Faison was like, hey man, as an actor, like I don't want like when I'm dead and gone and like I leave something for my family, it's not gonna be in AI that they can continue to use. Like when
Yeah,
I leave, when I'm dead and gone, my legacy will be the movies that I was in, and that's it. You're not gonna continue to use me in future movies after I that takes away from like the impact of being dead. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And that's what they're trying to do is like, oh, we can use your likeness going forward if you die, and we want to use that actor in a
That's
movie.
a. They're even doing that for like extras, which are a lot
Yeah.
of times working actors just trying to get a foot in the door. You know,
Mm.
paid work. For
And they get
a
paid for one
month.
time.
Yeah, and that's what
Mm.
a lot of the studios have been proposing is,
Mm.
hey, you show up for one day, we run,
Take your likeness.
yeah, and then we can use it as much as we want after that. And it's like we've all seen the Polar Express, right? With that whole
Dead
weird,
eyes.
exactly. I mean, just because I was curious, because I've been so against using AI for anything creative. I
Hmm.
understand that like Siri and some. Sorry, my watch started was like yes, uh, and things like that. They have some practical use for an everyday individual, but not for creating things. I
And let's be honest with, and we'll talk about this in a little bit here, but AI is not fucking there. If you were, I don't condone it, even if AI was at that point where they could like use an actor's likeness and make it like, I'm still not with that. Like I
it
want to see those actors do that. Uh, but you're not fucking there. And fucking Secret Invasion is fucking proof of that. It was garbage. And we'll get into that later. But
yeah
your technology that you guys are proposing is not even at the point that you could successfully do that. So I don't know
yeah.
why you're pushing for that right now to begin with. Like, get the fuck out of here.
If people in their own time want to use an AI to meal, like I've seen videos of people using it's like meal prep, get recipes, things like that. Like that's incredible. That's a way to help your everyday life. It should not be used in the creation of art because you lose so much of the human aspect, like emotion.
Yeah. And
It the
like, you know, im improvising thing. Like I Ryan Reynolds, Vince Vaughn, people like that improvise a lot of shit. Like, and you get funnier takes that weren't even scripted in the movie, or not just specifically comedy movies, but just in general. A lot of times takes that weren't scripted end up being the take that they go with because like this is so much better. If you do AI, you're only gonna get that one take that the director originally wanted, and you're not gonna get that improvisation that makes acting as special as it is. And
yeah
then that's not even acting anymore. It's just fucking computers on the screen. I don't want to
Yeah.
see that.
At that point in time, it's just
Yeah.
make everything animated.
Like when I like
Don't get me wrong, I
we
love animated shows and movies and stuff like that,
but
but
make it actually animated. I don't, and they, like we were talking about Mission Impossible, like Tom Cruise. I love Tom Cruise. He's one of my favorite actors. I know whatever about that, but one of the things I love about him is that his stunts, he's doing all of his stunts. Like that shit's real. Like he's hanging on the side of a plane. He did that Mission Impossible too. Climbing without a rope on the mountainside. He did that. Like
and
in
that
Mission
knife
Impossible.
scene where the blade stops in front of his eye and everyone's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this is a bad idea."
Yeah. Fucking
Jumping motorcycles off of mountains.
Mission Impossible 4. He's not allowed back in Dubai because he climbed to the top of the tallest building in the world and carved his initials into the top of it with a knife. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like AI, that it takes away from the specialness of that kind of shit. And yeah, I didn't mean to go on this long of a rant about it, but
I think that this is important, especially as film lovers. Just
I know I made a joke about it a second ago, like it must be hard, but like realistically, you like actors are doing this shit for our entertainment, and like I don't want to see that go away.
I mean, massive movie stars, yeah, you know, the ones that are out there that are very successful are out there in solidarity because when they started, you know,
we're working at restaurants,
yeah, it's
nickel
not
and diming.
It's
Yeah.
not very common that giant movie stars break onto the scene as giant movie stars.
Yeah. I remember hearing Chris Pratt talking about working, he was a server,
Yeah.
and like when people didn't finish their food, he would like scarf whatever they left down like back in the kitchen just so he would have a meal because he didn't
Yeah.
have any money. Like, yeah. And now they're trying to like, oh, do I say it? Take food out of their mouths.
I mean, that's literally what some of these studios are doing is they're waiting for these actors to get evicted, end up homeless, you know, all this stuff. And, you know, some of these like massive movie stars, you know, they can hold out longer, but the working actors are like, we've done this before we were hired. So if it means better working conditions in the future, I can go back to doing the same shit that I did before the strike happened, before I got that one TV spot or got famous from one show and whatever it is. It's just capitalism. Oh. This is why unions are important, people. Not going to go further political on that. Tell us about a rumor for Deadpool 3, Jake.
Dude, I could have transitioned into that way better because of the strike, Ryan Reynolds is not allowed to improvise any of his own lines until the strike is over, and now they're not. Everything's been halted, but
and I think part of that was also just Disney in general being like,
no, they said once the strike's over that he'll be able to improvise again.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, but just speaking of Deadpool 3,
Hey.
there is a rumor. I read it. It's not my rumor, but I'm spreading it like herpes. There could be a Wanda Maximoff, aka Scarlet Witch, aka Elizabeth
Winnie
Olsen.
the Bish. Oh, sorry.
Winnie the Bish.
Elizabeth Olsen, sorry.
Facing off with the OG Jean Grey, which would be fucking dope. And I forget her. She has like a, not in a bad way, but she has kind of a strange name.
Yep. I'm looking it up right now.
Jana Femke or something like that. Femke?
I think it's just Femke.
Femke? Maybe Jana was way off.
No, her first name is Famke.
Femke. Jensen?
Jansen. Yep. Famke
Yes,
Jansen.
okay. I was on the cusp of it. I didn't quite get
You were
the whole
getting
thing,
there.
but
smooth.
Famke Janssen. Yeah. So there could be a showdown between the two of them, which would be dope because I think that Jean Grey would be the only, especially like Phoenix, Dark Phoenix Jean
Yeah.
Grey, which we got at the end of, or not the end of, but like the entirety of X-Men 3,
Yeah.
uh, would probably be the only person that could like hold their ground with Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about this earlier. It, you could make an argument that like Doctor Strange put up a fight, but realistically, she was kicking everyone's ass that whole movie.
Yeah. I mean, the opening sequence is Wanda using another monster that she's controlling to murk.
Yeah, America Chavez.
Well, and the other, an alternate of
Oh yeah.
Doctor Strange.
Hmm. Yeah. So if it's real, I know that they've mentioned that the OG cast, Marsden, obviously Hugh Jackman. We've seen pictures of that. Famke,
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry. We've already seen her hair is dyed and cut in the proper fashion for that. So, I would think it would be really fucking cool. I know that the TVA is going to be a big part of this movie.
And from those
There's
set photos,
rumors.
there's the 20th Century Fox
It looks
logo.
like yeah.
In shambles, probably in the void from
Mhm.
the Loki series and stuff like that.
There's rumors that Owen Wilson will be playing Mobius in this movie. Like it's gonna be
Mo Cubed, thank you.
yeah. Oh, sorry.
Mobius and Mobius, middle name Mobius.
Yeah, I'm really excited, and even if it's just a small part of it, the only negative thing I have right now is that it seems to be a little bit of a trend with since Spider-Man No Way Home, it's been a little bit of a trend to do these like
Multiverse,
multiverse
bringing all the
movies, yeah.
cameos for
Actually, let me revise
fans.
that. Since Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, this has been a trend because they kind of kicked this whole thing out.
Yeah.
I gave the credit to
But-
the wrong Spider-Man. Sorry.
But also, I mean, that's from the comics.
Mhm.
You know,
I'm not disappointed. I have been disappointed in some movies. Looking at you, Flash.
AI and poor CGI. Woo! 2 claps and a Ric Flair. Oh,
But that's the rumor. There's probably going to be a lot of shit in this movie that we are not expecting. The one thing I'm hoping comes out of it that hasn't been rumored is X-23. I would love to see her come back,
yes.
especially going forward. I love that Hugh Jackman's coming back to reprise Wolverine. I don't think he's Wolverine going forward. I'm all for, like 110% for, rather than trying to recast Wolverine.
Who has now played the same character, beloved character, for 23 years.
Give us X-23. Bring back, the fuck's her name? Daphne Keane.
Yeah.
Give us Daphne Keane as Wolverine going forward. Give us a female Wolverine.
Yeah. That's
You-
not even
you
like
and I- you and I
gender
have
swapping, at that
Yeah.
point in time. It's
Yeah.
she played a legitimate
And she
comic
killed
version.
it. And you and I have been saying, arguing about, well, not arguing. You and I have been saying that we love well-written female characters, and we get really annoyed when we get basic, like,
Not
Dumb.
quite damsel in distress, but
yeah, like I don't,
still needs to be saved by a man at the end of it.
like we talk about like annoying shit like that, and like sometimes maybe it comes off the wrong way, and blah blah blah. It's not that we're against strong woman characters. We just want well-written, strong woman characters. And Daphne Keene's X-23 is fantastic, and she was only like this big. Now she's an adult.
Yeah.
Give us that as Wolverine. That's what I want.
Hell yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that would just That would be incredible. The biggest thing and we've agreed on this is that when there is supposed to be a strong woman character, is that most of the time it is written by a man.
Yeah.
Like
So it's like,
most of the time, probably an insecure man. So it doesn't want to write a strong female lead.
yeah.
But yeah, give us all that. Yum yum yum. Give it all. Let's move on because we spent
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of time on more things than we thought we would.
Fuck me, it's 2:15. Holy shit! All right, yeah, you keep going. Keep going.
Coming out this week. Technically, by the time that this episode airs, or at least that afternoon,
Wait for this.
the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem will be in theaters. It's weird that it's being released on a Wednesday for like a major theatrical release.
Yeah.
Also, it means that we're going to have to avoid the internet a little bit longer than usual because we probably won't get to see it till the weekend.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for it.
I am stoked for this movie. Seth Rogen has been killing it in the nerd world lately. Keep it up. I mean, Invincible, The Boys, Gen Z, which we're going to talk about next anyway. And the Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, which is leading into a TV show with the same voice actors. Like, he's killing it in the nerd genre right now.
Hell yeah.
And we thank you. Keep that energy up.
Ooh.
I do think that this movie is piggybacking a little bit on the animated style of Across the Spider or Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, Beyond the Spider-Verse. But I'm okay with it. Just like, it's a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of like piggybacking on it, but I also think that because the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, before they were like an independent comic, was Marvel, but they were comics.
Yeah.
So why not embrace kind of like the comic feel, but just make it, instead of panel by panel, fluid.
I'm not complaining by any means. I love the style of Into the Spider-Verse definitely cornered that fucking cartoon style that like looked on screen like you were watching a comic book. And I, as a obviously comic book fan, I love it. So I'm not bashing it in any way. I'm just saying, like, you're definitely piggybacking on the success of probably
that style
one
of
the
animation.
biggest, like animation movies like of all time.
Yeah.
It won't come out because it's still doing well. It's still doing well right now in theaters, and that's why they haven't released it on digital yet. They're like, we're still making money in the theaters. Why would we fucking kick it to fucking streaming services? But that pisses me off because I really want to watch it right now.
So bad. Also, a spin-off of The Boys, Gen V, is coming out like within the next month. We got a sweet-ass trailer for it.
New trailer, yeah. We've talked about it since we knew about it. Yeah. And then we talked about it again when the first like teaser trailer came out for it. Now there's a new trailer that came out a few days ago, and
it looks sweet.
Looks like the tits, yeah.
And it the tits, absolutely. Yeah. And then I haven't watched this next animation show, but you said that you did, so why don't you talk about it and hype it up? Because now you've got me ready for it.
Castlevania. I just saw a trailer for it right before we started recording. I was like, holy shit, we got to put this in the episode. But if you haven't watched Castlevania on Netflix, it is an anime style of the game. I don't know if any of you watched or played the old school Nintendo game Castlevania, but they turned it into a badass fucking bloody, gory anime on Netflix, and there is a new season of it coming out on the 28th of September. right?
I just remember you saying September. I don't remember the date.
I think the boys Gen V was September 29th, and then Castlevania, I believe, is the 28th. So you got some time to binge the first couple seasons and catch up. It is really fucking good.
Yeah. I will be the one binging and getting caught
Yeah.
up. And then The Witcher, episode 6. So it's the first episode of part 2 of season 3, and the final season with Henry Cavill came out. And very meh. I mean, like the fight scenes, the combat,
Mid.
I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it looked good, but man, the writing, I see why Henry Cavill was like, nah.
This season has been. We're like fully talking about this right now, right?
Yeah, just for like a minute or
Yeah.
a few minutes.
This season has been. Season 1 and season 2 I loved. This season has been the biggest understanding of why Henry Cavill is leaving ever.
Yeah.
I've literally been watching it with Nicole and just been like, Jesus Christ, like for Henry's sake, I am so glad he is exiting this show. This
Yeah.
is trash. This season has been hot trash.
Yeah. It was. I watched the last 3 episodes, so 6, 7, and 8, and just meh, you know.
Oh yeah, I know. That sucks.
And it sucks because the first season especially was incredible. The second season, it still had some nice ties to like the lore of The Witcher, ties to the games, which was cool. But it started to really deviate there, and then the only thing that really resembles some real things is the first episode when they're like traveling a bunch and just like staying in random cottages. You have some friends along the way, whatever. But it's not until like the third episode that they even fight a fucking monster.
Yeah.
Meh.
And like spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, take a couple seconds to log off, come back later. That's enough time. The fucking I haven't finished it. I watched the episode 6, which is the first episode of the after the break they took, which was the dumbest. It was like a 2-week break.
It was
why
like
did you even
it was a month.
It was fucking why, like, whatever. Anyways, this is how dumb, and then I'll stop talking about it, and you can talk about whatever you want. But there's a part where they're running away. Ciri, Cirilla, Jennifer, Jennifer. Let's just call her Jennifer. Let's be practical here. And and Geralt are just they're like running away from the fight because they're like, we have to protect Cirilla, like we're a family, like we gotta stay together, blah blah blah. And then Jennifer is like, you know what, I gotta go back. And they're like, but no. And she's like, no, I have to. And she goes back, shows up for like 2 seconds, and is like, somebody go get Geralt. And it was like, you were just fucking with him, you dumb biatch. And that's what I'm talking about with poor lead woman writing. She's terrible. So terrible. She gets there and is like, oh my god, somebody get Geralt. And then somebody like runs off to go get Geralt. And then she runs away and leaves. And it was like, why did you even fucking go back? It didn't make any sense. And then, you tell the other part that didn't make sense. I'm rambling. I'm worked up. My vein is popping out here.
What? A lot of it didn't make sense. What part?
The end fight part where he like sends.
Are you talking about the Burton guy?
Well, just like the fact that he like sends Like the whole point of it was like we have to stick together, and then Jennifer is like, I gotta go, and then
Oh, right. And then Vilgefortz, which is one of
is that
the
the Indian dude's
the
name?
yeah the one of the mages. I think that's Vilgefortz. Um,
He forts.
he,
He forts super loud.
I mean, first off, like his fight with Geralt, like awesome choreography. Like that was one of the good fights.
The sword fighting part of it was cool.
Yeah, but like he has like a magical staff, and he just like doesn't have to like change hands to like block like. And also, that's a cool fucking weapon, but like his swings his staff, Geralt dodges it, swings the sword away from the staff, and then the staff reappears in his other hand, and he's like, "You like my staff?" And he's like, "Awesome."
And then Geralt like
Didn't realize that this was the Van Damme version of Street Fighter. uh, Hadouken. But I mean, and the entire point was to keep running, and then Geralt sees him, he's like, I'm gonna fight him. You wait here. And then the second he takes like 2 steps away from Ciri, Vilgefortz is like, portal, bye. And Ciri gets gone.
no. Geralt tells her to run.
Yeah, and then she gets blasted into a portal.
Did you? I must.
Yeah, it's.
But then she runs towards where Yennefer was, right?
Yeah, she starts running back towards Aretuza, the castle, and it just was not good.
You know what? That two things seriously annoyed me. One was the ending of it. Again, spoiler alert, is Cirilla basically exploding. We don't know what happened to her. That's season 2 finale. Like that's what happened with Jennifer, and it's just dumb. I'm not gonna let that go. And then come on. When they wrote this, they were like, "Hey, let's how do we name this person?" And they were like,
"Well, I mean, that's her name in the books and the game."
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yennefer.
When they wrote the books, I'm saying, or game, whatever came first, the chicken or the egg. Someone was like, "We got to name this person," and someone was like, "Jennifer," and he was like, "No, it's got to be a little more mystic than that,
fantasy
like,
based.
Let's call her Yennefer," and they were like, You get a raise."
Basically, they wrote the word Jennifer on a piece of paper and slid it to their Swedish co-writer, and he's like, "Oh, Yennefer," and they're like, "That's it."
Yeah, fantastic.
Hey, pass this piece of paper to Jan over there and tell him to read it out loud.
The other thing that slightly annoys me, and I guess I had to look it up because I haven't read the books or played the games. I will say that right now. So, but when Yennefer like hugs Ciri before she goes like back, which she didn't need to begin with, but she's like, "Goodbye, my daughter," and I was like, "You guys are like the same fucking age." They're not.
Yennefer is like hundreds of years old.
No, she's not. She is in the books. She's like 80 something years old, and Geralt is 98. I looked it up last night.
I didn't know exactly how old they were. But
Cirilla, who is like a full-grown woman, is only supposed to be 12 years old.
I thought that she was supposed to be like between 16 and 18.
Nope, she was 12 years old in the first season, and between season 2 and now has only been 1 year. She's only supposed to be 13 years old right now.
Woof.
She's like 25 in real life. Like, stop.
Yeah.
Yep. We love you, Henry. I'm looking forward to Warhammer.
Hell yeah.
Let you down big time.
That's him being like, hey, I don't have an extravagant lifestyle, so I have all this fucking money. I'm going to produce the show that I want.
Yeah. Go to sponsor one because
Yeah, we're sponsored by Ray's Energy Drinks. It's a energy drink with 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 crash. It's quite fantastic, unlike The Witcher has been. If you don't like energy drinks, they've got all kinds of supplements, protein-packed desserts, handful of plant-based options, which is pretty rad for us. So listen up, learn how to save 15%. We'll be right back with you to talk about stuff we actually are excited about. What's up, nerds? I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about Ray's Energy, an incredible energy drink that provides max energy with 0 crash. Ray's Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring a powerful, yet sustained, energetic experience to help you push your workouts and focus to the next level. Perfect for anyone at any time, and powered by their Refresh formula technology, Ray's Energy delivers a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in multiple different categories that include targeted focus, better recovery time, improved clean energy levels, and a boost in stamina and hydration. But most importantly, every can of Ray's Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. So don't settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, head over to repsports.com. That's REPPSPORTS.com and use the promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout for 15% off your order. Or if you don't know what you want, go ahead and click the link that's in the description to get a $50 sample pack for free. All you do is you cover the cost of shipping. Again, make sure you use promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout to let them know that we sent you.
Okay, friends, we are going to talk about Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan's new movie about Oppenheimer.
J. Robert. What does the J stand for? Apparently J.
Well, the most important thing about this movie that you need to take away from this is that Florence Pugh shows her titties. So there's that.
Yeah, that's like the number one thing I took away too. All right, sponsor two.
Multiple times. She is beautiful.
I love her, and she's a great actress.
I don't think Nicole even watches the podcast anymore. She was super supportive in the beginning, and then she was like, "Yeah, I don't care."
If it makes you feel better, I also stopped watching our podcast
a long time ago.
Like a year ago.
Not that I don't care. I don't need to like revisit what we already did. Yeah.
Like Marshall Erickson says in How I Met Your Mother, the only people who haven't seen Star Wars are who were the actors that were in Star Wars. It's because they lived them, Ted. They lived the Star Wars. Sorry, continue.
I just am not as big of a fan of that show as you are.
I just thought it was a funny quote.
It's fun. So I'm gonna let you take this because I interpreted it poorly. But the black and white thing.
Oh yeah. So it's a pretty good split with the movie. It's probably like 60% of it is in full color, and probably 40% of it is in black and white. The parts that are in black and white also they take place more in the future after the Manhattan Project and everything like that. But Christopher Nolan used the difference of color in black and white, where the scenes that are in color are much more from Oppenheimer's like first person perspective and recollection, where the scenes that are in black and white are much more objective things that were more witnessed historically and things like that, which is really cool. And it's not the first time that Christopher Nolan has used the difference between using full color spectrum scenes versus black and white. I mean, he did that back with Memento. Using those differentiating things for different reasons, but it's a cool way of changing the perspective.
Mm.
So all of like the court hearings and stuff like that, and the fucking sham that Strauss did to basically
It
bury Oppenheimer for his political gain.
it is really like it's I was telling Nicole about it after like I got home, and it is really kind of sad because basically what happened is like the government was like, so Oppenheimer has this theory, which is just a theory at this point in time, is that when stars die, they implode, but that energy has to go somewhere. Explosion. And the government's like, you think you could recreate that? And he's like, yeah, probably. And they're like, you should do it. We'll back you. And he's like, yeah, okay. And then the government used it in Hiroshima and Nagasaki and killed over 200 something thousand people or whatever. And then the government was like, man, we didn't do it. This guy fucking made it. And
Yeah,
Oppenheimer's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I made it for you. You
yeah,
guys asked me to do this. I'm like, no, we didn't want you to kill all these people. You did this. And they like fucking tried to crucify the guy. It was sad. It was brutally. It was kind of like I didn't know that. Like and
neither
like
neither did I.
yeah, I was like, Jesus Christ. Like this what the fuck?
What was cool though is one of the senators that voted against Strauss, who was also a general, I believe,
Mm.
or a colonel. Sorry, um, that was trying to get voted in by the Senate to join the presidential cabinet. Things like that. One of the deciding votes that prevented that from happening was John F. Kennedy,
Mm.
which was pretty cool. I didn't know that either. We don't
Yeah.
see JFK at all in the film. It's just mentioned kind of like at the end of Dark Knight Rises where they just drop
Because
his
he
name as
wasn't
Robin.
president at the time, so they're
Yeah,
like
he was just a
he's
senator.
Mhm.
Because at that point in time, he was like a freshman senator, you know, in his first term. And had that not happened, so much of history would have been different.
Yeah.
We would not look back on Oppenheimer. I mean, probably not the most favorable historical figure because he created literally the weapon of mass
he was
destruction.
almost forcibly, almost by like the government was like,
They
do this.
manipulated his ego so much of like, oh,
Yeah.
you're a theoretical physicist and you're trying to. I mean, he brought quantum
They were like-
physics
they
to
were-
the United States. Like,
They basically were like, hey man, like so far this is just a theory. Do you think you could actually do it? And he's like, yeah, I could do it. And they were like, prove it. And then he did it, and they were like, all right, let's use this and fucking kill a bunch of people. And then when there's a backlash because people are like, whoa, the United States killed all these people, innocent people, not, and the government was like, what are you talking about? We didn't.
well,
this
and
guy.
he was hired to create this bomb, and the reason why he went so far along with it in the terms of weapon manufacturing for it was to stop Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
And then Hitler dies
And then they used the bomb anyway on.
on Japan because,
Yeah.
and Japan at that point in time was the U.S. was pushing closer and closer to the mainland of Japan and not using the outlying, like Iwo Jima and stuff like that, where a lot of the battles were fought in the Pacific, was getting closer and closer to the mainland. So Japan was like on the verge of surrender as it was, and then they're like, okay, but now the bomb's ready, so let's drop it.
No.
And they're like, But if we drop it once, that will just show power. But
that we only have one.
If
gotta
we
do
drop it
to
twice,
prove that we have more.
that we can continue. Yeah, and it's a really powerful scene when the bomb actually goes off. Side
Because
note,
Wolverine saves this guy.
who becomes
Who
the
will later-
Silver Samurai. No, but that's funny.
We gotta make it. It's the nerd pod. All things nerd podcast. We gotta do a little bit. But
what was... I mean, the explosion itself, from the test explosion, was... it was still impressive, because they did it...
visually, like the way they slowed it down and you see all the flames, like whatever, it was cool to look at, but it was not what we were promised by Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
And I love you, Christopher Nolan. I do. You're probably one of my favorite directors, but I was promised, like, you were literally, I quote, you will be able to feel like you were there when the bomb happened, end quote.
I mean, granted, we just saw it on a monster screen, or not even a monster screen. But also not in IMAX. I'm sure it's a little bit more impressive.
It was a little bit of like, I was like, but no, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna disagree with you on that, because I think I said it as we were walking out, that it was as impressive, if not maybe a tiny bit more impressive than like the White House being blown up in Independence Day, which was late 90s, early 2000s. Like, if you're gonna make that promise, and you better fucking deliver, and you didn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't that more crazy of any giant explosion in any giant blockbuster movie that we've already seen.
Yeah.
It didn't.
The only thing that I think was impressive about it was that it was practical effects. They actually got, the close to 400,000 pounds of TNT, which is what the original atom bomb testing was equivalent to.
Which is a letdown to me, because that you did all of that, and it was not even more impressive than something that I saw 20 years ago.
Right.
So, thanks for scorching earth for fucking nothing.
That's not to say that the movie itself was
fantastic.
Shot in such a visually stunning way.
Acting
like watching
was
the flash on his eyes when the explosion goes off was incredible. Yeah. The emotion behind it. It's just
the acting was incredible. And I've been saying this for 2 or 3 weeks now. The Josh Hartnett comeback is strong, bro. It's strong. He's coming back, dude. I love Josh Hartnett. He's a Minnesota boy. You can't blame me. But I love Josh Hartnett. And
as you're wearing a Wild shirt.
Yeah. Dude, I'm so for it, man. And there's rumor that he's going to be Harvey Dent in the Batman 2 with Pattinson. He's kind of got the Colin Farrell thing going on. Colin Farrell was also in the Batman. But Colin Farrell was very popular when he was young, and he fell off for a while. And then he came back really, really strong. And now his career is probably better than ever. The same effing thing.
Yeah.
I almost said Colin Farrell again. Josh Hartnett. He was just this heartthrob. Everybody was like, oh my God, Josh Hartnett. Nom, 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 nom. And he was very popular. He disappeared for a while. And now, in the past, year, about-ish, and going forward, he's just blowing up. I've been seeing him everywhere lately, and the roles started out smaller and are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Oppenheimer being one of the bigger ones, and now maybe the Batman, and I'm for it, dude. I love Josh Hartnett. 30 Days a Night is top 3 horror movies of all time for me.
Really?
And yeah, I love that fucking movie. Have you seen it?
No.
Dude, what? It's not scary. It's gory, so you'll be okay.
Cool.
Yeah. It's really fucking good.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it. because I do love Josh Hartnett, and also, he's one of my grandma's favorite actors as well. I think that he's a fantastic actor. I really enjoy the things that I've seen him in. But yeah, this movie.
Favorite Josh Hartnett movie? Go.
Oh, that's hard. Lucky Number 11.
Ah, you bitch. That's mine.
It's so good.
This is the best movie. That's like one of my favorite movies of all time. But yeah, that's my favorite one that he's in.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah.
And what's cool is his character's dynamic with Cillian Murphy as Oppenheimer, who Oppenheimer is the theoretical physicist, and I don't remember what his first name is. They call him Professor Lawrence a lot, or just Lawrence. Josh Hartnett's character is the practical physicist. So it's like, you have the theory, I'll make it happen.
But he's a bitch. Like, at the end of the movie, he's a total bitch.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Because at that point in time, that was kind of the huge divide of the black and white versus the full color spectrum filming is unironically, in the black and white scenes, you see everyone's true colors. They're... I see your true colors. But you see, like, they're at the end of the day, like, it's more about their political gain, their political aspirations and stuff like that. But this movie was incredible.
It was great.
Oh, yeah. It was incredible. And I learned...
Say incredible one more time.
Incredible. I learned from it, too. And Christopher Nolan has this incredible knack of, when he makes movies, is providing, like, real science behind a lot of stuff. I mean, Interstellar had multiple scientific journals published based on...
Might be one of my favorite Christopher Nolan movies.
Might be one of my favorite movies.
That movie is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta make Nicole watch that. I don't think she's seen it.
Oh.
And then I'll just
she probably
explain it the whole time.
She probably...
And she'll think I know.
She can't do it because, pregnant and stuff, but watching that movie super high is incredible. It fucks you up so much.
I was super disappointed that we didn't get high before Across the Spider-Verse. Like, Nicole leaned over to me. I didn't instigate. She leaned over to me and she was like, I bet you wish you were high right now. And I was like, yeah. Yeah.
Well, when it comes out and streaming in probably like 6 months, because it's going to be in theaters for that long.
I gotta buy a new light, or have you come over and look at it and see if we can fix it.
Oh, I can fix it. I'm sure.
I think I reconnected it, but you gotta come over and look at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna have to watch that. Super.
That doesn't need to be in the podcast.
Oh, it's gonna stay in there. But
go watch Oppenheimer. It's fucking fantastic.
It's incredible.
God damn, dude. It's... Sorry, I'm like leaning way away from the microphone.
Yeah, but you were really loud, so the volume would stay the same.
It was fucking fantastic. The scene was so hot it was almost spicy. Speaking of spicy, let me tell you about sponsor number 2. You like that? You like that?
A lot. I was about to be. You were in the middle of...
And then we ruined it.
You were in the middle of that sentence, and I wanted to be like, what else is spicy, Jake? But you were in the middle of talking, so I was like, I'm going to let him get through this comment, and then I'm going to be like, what else is spicy?
Oh, God. Sponsor number 2 is Crybaby Craig's Hot Sauce. It's a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes on practically anything. Listen up, and we'll tell you more about it.
And don't forget, we're funny, damn it.
God damn it, we're funny.
Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today. Okay, friends. Now we are going to talk about the season and probably the series finale of Secret Invasion on Disney Plus. Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it yet, just tune out, tune back in, or just listen. Doesn't really matter at this point in time.
Just listen up and we'll tell you more about it.
Yeah. Learn how to save 15%. I mean, meh. This was unfortunately quite a letdown.
Ooh.
Because even though we've talked about how this show is quite predictable, it was still building for something.
We were stoked about it. We thought it was gonna go somewhere in the end.
And
really
and
good.
I liked the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
This was
lame.
Yeah. It was not anything that we hoped for or expected. So I guess in that way, the predictability thing didn't really pan out. But yeah, it was not... wasn't fantastic.
No.
It was not great cotton.
Well, so we know that Rhodey was a Skrull. We got confirmation from the director of the show that Rhodey has been a Skrull since Civil War.
Yeah.
Which is why he was wearing the hospital gown, because when he went in for his CT scan or MRI or whatever the fuck, that's when the Skrulls grabbed him. So that's why in the series finale of Secret Invasion, Rhodey is wearing the same hospital gown that he was wearing in Civil War when he went in for that scan.
Yeah.
But they don't explain that. This was your rant. You go.
Yeah, because we were told we were told that we were going to learn that one of the Avengers has been a Skrull for a long time. Turns out that it was Rhodey, which makes sense. He's part of the Avengers, hung out at the Avengers compound, all that stuff. But the show isn't the thing that told us that he was a Skrull for that long. We literally got a tweet a few days after the show ended. It's like, then the show didn't deliver on that promise either.
Yeah.
Like,
stupid.
Da fuck.
Da fuck. DAFUK. Da fuck.
WDF. It's the same as WTF, but with duh.
I mean, whatever, dude. The show is dumb. They didn't. The end fight. I don't want to just jump to the end fight, but I'm gonna, because basically we knew that Gaia got the, extremis or whatever, but she takes the what the fuck do they call it?
The harvest.
The harvest.
She's disguised as Fury.
Yeah. It's fucking stupid. So now Gaia is basically Captain Everypower from Shazam 2. She literally has Drax,
the strength of Drax, Captain
Marvel, Captain America,
the Hulk / Abomination.
Like it.
Also, the harvest came from the Endgame battle.
Yeah.
and Abomination wasn't there, so how that became a part of it doesn't.
I didn't even think about that. God damn it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Gaia gets power like from the Hulk,
Yeah.
but Gravix already has Abomination, so
Maybe somewhere else.
it could be from, well, he was in prison, but
Yeah.
either way, because that was the point of the Harvest, was it was all of the Avengers,
Yeah.
and Abomination hasn't been a part of the Avengers. He's been in prison, all that stuff, unless Wong breaks him out to gamble on him.
Yeah. But so now Gaia is the most superpowered, powerful
Fuckery.
being ever. Which
Yeah.
I love Amelia Clark. I do. This is just poor, poor, poor writing. And I would not change my mind if it was
Anyone else.
male member of the event. It could be
Just-
Chris Evans, Robert Downey. I would be like, this is fucking dumb. So
I thought that then suddenly it was going to be Nick Fury, because he's in the middle of the dome as it's infusing the powers, and I was like, no. Nick Fury does not get all these powers. His power is his mind and strategy.
The moment he stepped into that, I was like, oh, it's Gaia.
I didn't. But when that happened, I was like, no, you can't now give Nick Fury
You can't give anybody
unlimited power. Like, this is just bleh.
It was very dumb. And the only way I would have been okay with it, like, yeah, this is dumb for the moment, but as long as, like, she dies and doesn't continue to have those powers, like, whatever, she doesn't. So she's out there and is now a fucking one-person Avenger team that could just kill and beat any fucking body.
Murk everyone.
And
Yeah.
it's just like, why? That's so dumb. That takes away from everything. It's just so dumb. Dumb. Marvel? No.
I like how you even did the two fingers to slap your mic like bad dog.
So dumb. Oh, god damn it. Whatever. I'm done. You talk.
There was a moment where Priscilla, I think that her Skrull name is Vara.
Mm-hmm.
Is Vara.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, towards the end, after everything is all said and done, Rhodey dies. And the president's like, holy shit, what? He was a Skrull? That's fucked up.
What might I add? I fucking hate that guy.
the
Dermot, whatever the fuck his last name is. Sorry, I'm chewing on an ice cube.
Yeah, it's
He's
a bad
in-
habit.
He's in every fucking thing, and I hate him in every goddamn role he's ever been in. I bitch about him to Nicole all the because he's in Friends, he's in The New Girl, he's in fucking everything.
Oh, yeah, isn't he Schmidt's dad?
No,
No.
he's fucking the old guy that Jess dates for a while.
Well, but she also dates Schmidt's dad for a little while.
No, she doesn't date him. She just makes out with him, not knowing that Schmidt's dad.
Yeah. President.
Dermot. His name's Dermot.
Dermot Mulroney.
Yeah. Dermot McCleftlip. I fucking hate that guy.
Cool.
Sorry.
Cool.
You can cut that.
I don't think I'm going to.
I'm not body shaming. I am just not a fan of the actor. He's very handsome. Blah 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 blah. He is in the what's the stupid gigolo movie he was in? My best friend's wedding or some shit like that. She hires is the chick from Will and Grace. She like hires a male prostitute because she doesn't have a date for a wedding.
Yeah, my best friend's wedding.
Yeah. I get it. He's a heartthrob. Blah blah blah.
I mean, he is a good-looking dude.
Can't stand him. Can't stand him.
He just always plays an arrogant person.
I was like, a cock?
Tomato potato?
Tomato potato. Anyways, how does this movie, Chadley, tie into The Marvels, which is the follow-up to this show? I said movie.
Yeah,
how does
you
this
did.
show tie into The Marvels, which is a movie?
Well, part of it, and these two things both happen in the last 5 minutes, is Nick Fury decides to go back up to space to go to Saber, which is his space station that is, I'm assuming, part of SWORD, but it doesn't actually fully say that. But Priscilla goes with him. Vara is her Skrull name, and she presents herself as the full Skrull. They kiss, kind of ending that question from a few episodes ago of will he accept her despite her appearance of not being human.
In her alien form, yeah.
Yeah. He does. That's kind of a sweet moment, whatever. Not to downplay that, because that is a very sweet moment, but he goes back up to Saber, which we see him on both at the end, in the end credit scene of Far From Home, and in the trailer for the Marvels. And then he just mentions that he's going back to Saber. That's it. That's how it ties in, is that he's on the space station that we see in the trailer. And we know that Skrulls are going to be in the Marvels, at least for a scene, because we only see one scene of Skrulls in the background for the Marvels trailer. That's how it directly ties in, according to all the promotions.
And the Skrulls aren't even the main bad people in...
No, it's the Kree, yet again.
Yeah.
Weird.
This
is why you need to pay your writers a living wage, motherfuckers, because then we get better shit.
I liked the show up until the finale.
I did too. I loved the show. Yeah, it was... There were moments that were quite predictable.
Yeah.
But we're also comic book fans. We know what happens in the comics that these are based off of. So, there's going to be some predictability for longtime fans.
Yeah.
But the show was awesome. I really enjoyed the show, even though some of the episodes were, slow builds. I know that we talked shit, but that's just what happens when you drink and you're passionate. Is you're going to pick apart the minor things that doesn't mean jack to most people.
I think that they should have brought in, just to hype up the Thunderbolts, they should have brought in Bucky and Yelena working as a team for 5 minutes. Barely anything. It wouldn't take away from the show, but just to hype up that...
Or Red Guardian, or Abomination.
Yeah, Abomination would have made
overpowered.
sense because they used him in the...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anyways.
Or at least have an end credit scene that ties in better. There's not an end credit scene at all. I wish, because of how much I enjoyed the series up until the finale, I wish I had better words to say about the show.
Yeah.
But I just don't. And that, as a fan, that sucks.
Yeah. Condensation is just dripping off my glass. I was ah.
Every time I pick up my glass, I wipe the bottom of it on my shorts.
That's literally what I just did.
So that it doesn't drip on me.
That's funny.
Well, I mean, still go watch the show. If you've gotten this far, I watched that drip.
Right? What? Is there a crack in this glass?
If our listeners have been listening to us, we tend to pick apart some things that don't quite sit right with us.
Only because we're passionate about the shit we're nerdy about.
Yeah, and I still loved this show. Just the finale was very underwhelming. There were still some cool parts. So go watch it.
Maybe that's my problem. It was like full of water.
Oh, I do that same thing with my coasters
I
too.
know.
Is all
I've seen you do it. That's why I was like, oh, maybe this is the issue.
go watch the show because the show is enjoyable. Don't let us shitting on it for being underwhelming of a finale. The rest of the show is very, very good. So go do that. And then
We're gonna close it out. But before we close out this episode, Chadley, aka Chode. I don't know.
no, not Chode. I
told
just
me. I
confided
should
in you
know.
this past week about how that was the bullied nickname I had, and Dick, I'm never
know,
telling
yes.
you childhood memories again.
I love you. I love you. I'm so sorry. What what do you have for honorable mentions?
Well,
I
fucking asshole.
just confided in you. You betrayed me.
I have two. I went and saw the Barbie movie this past weekend.
And?
Fucking incredible.
Yeah.
It was.
Who
It
was
was-
hotter, Gosling or Robbie?
I plead the fifth.
Or
Yes.
Simi?
Oh.
Or Michael Cera?
He wasn't the hottest, but his character probably was my favorite.
Really? Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah, it was so good. The movie was incredible. It was hilarious. It had emotional moments. And honestly, I left the theater feeling much differently than I expected to.
Yeah.
Not sad. Very much enjoyed it, but
But not happy?
without going into full existential crisis mode, I left questioning some of my life choices. Not in a bad way. I just left in a very solemn way. And I was like, good fucking God. How did this movie move these emotions?
Interesting.
It was really good. I really enjoyed it.
By the time this episode comes out, I will have seen it, but obviously I won't be able to talk about it until next week. So
I've seen some awesome merch online that is Ken inspired. Ryan Gosling Ken that I really want.
like life-sized or
Yeah,
maybe
like
a little anatomically. No?
no, there's nothing to make a smooth patch or anything like that. Just there's a sweatshirt that he wears in the movie. I'm not going to say what it says, what it is, but it's great, and I want it. Do you... Other than that, I also started watching Upload on Amazon Prime.
I heard it was good.
It's morbid and hilarious at the same time.
That dude, the main character,
Robbie
the
Amell?
brunette guy, that's fucking Arrow's brother.
Yeah, it's his younger brother.
Yeah. Arrow.
Yeah,
Steve Amell.
yeah,
Right.
Stephen Amell's younger brother.
Yeah.
Both are great. I recommend both of them right off the bat. What about you? What do you have for honorable mentions?
I made Nicole watch Detroit Rock City over the weekend. I love this movie. It's very Jesus Christ, dog. It's very Days of Confused vibes to it, but a little more. Days of Confused is like early 70s. This is like late 70s, early 80 kind of vibe to it. It's about Kiss. or kids that are obsessed with Kiss. But it's a lot of fun. It's very funny. If you like Dazed and Confused, check this out. Um, and the other one was so because I made Nicole watch that, she made me watch Sweet Home Alabama, which I've seen before, but rewatching it as an adult, it's super racist. It's crazy. There's Confederate flags everywhere. Pillows on the couches are Confederate flags. The Reese Witherspoon's dad is a war reenactor on the Confederacy. Like, and I was like, huh, weird.
It's quite fucked up.
Yeah, it's strange.
Mm.
But that's it. That's what I have. I recommend Detroit Rock City. I do not recommend Sweet Home Alabama unless you like your cousins. Hey, knock it up.
Just yelling at the pup.
Yeah, sorry. She's like banging at the door. Nicole must have just got home.
Yeah. Well, for our listeners that have stuck through this whole episode, didn't have to pause and come back, what should they do, Jake?
Give us your money.
Yes. Please. It's a great way to support the podcast. It allows us to do bigger and better things, have some cool guests, pay our staff, all of those things. So the best way to do that is go to buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd. Like we mentioned earlier in the episode, it's a monthly subscription. You can kind of choose what level you go at, but you get all kinds of benefits for doing that. From merch, behind the scenes, early announcements, everything like that. If you don't want to do that, you can still give us your money, which would be awesome. But just go to allthingsnerdpodcast.com and pick something from our web store. That's the best way to do it.
Really, we don't take any of this money for ourselves, and we have, believe it or not, we have staff that work for us that we don't pay because we don't make enough money, and we would love to pay them. And
Yeah.
we would also like to do bigger and better things on this podcast that we haven't really been able to do because we don't have a shit ton of money. I mean,
Yeah. Because everything that we do comes out of
help
our pockets.
help you.
Yes.
If you give, we give back 10 times in full. Like, we're gonna do more cons. We're gonna
We give it back.
more live streams and give away better prizes on those live streams. We've been pouring our own money into this thing, and treat it like a tumor. We just gotta keep growing.
What a weird analogy.
Until we die. That's just the way it is.
Cool.
That's just the way it is.
Cool.
What has it been, Chad?
What has it been? Oh, this has been the All Things Nerd podcast.
Peace out, homies.